it's a celebration, and also for Cathy, you could say it's her last full council assembly. Yes. Except there's no minutes to take, and there was one agenda. That's Cathy. She's not used to this at all, you see. But you know, if you don't know, you will know now. She's served the town for 22 years. Three. I could say why I've got 22 on there, but it doesn't matter. She officially retires at the end of this month, so it's not long to go. You know that some of you may know that feeling. Wow, it's nearly there. Woo, it is nearly there, Cathy. For those you're not aware, Cathy did join the town council as deputy clerk, and that year, 1993, remember it? 1st of July, I think it was. It was a very interesting year. It was a year. Remember this? John Major was Prime Minister.
Yes.
I knew he'd get a corner. Well done, right on cue for George. The Maastricht Treaty was signed. Some of you will think, what's that? Some of you will go, I remember that. The Pentium microprocessor was introduced by Intel. Ed, you know, yeah, Ed's waving, yeah. There's one person here who knows about these things. Bill Clinton was president of the USA. There's so many things in that year. And now, you'll never believe this, that year, the World Wide Web was born. No, only 22 years. Or is it a long time or a short time? But it was the year you came here. Steffi Graf won Ladies Wimbledon, and many of us will have seen it. Jurassic Park was on the cinema screen. What a year! All memorable moments. And Cathy, it was memorable because you joined here. Yes. Great, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes. You got to say yes. For the record, during Cathy's 23 years here, I do know what I'm going to say. I made a few mistakes during my chairman mayor's year. I keep going, don't I? But Cathy has served under 16 chairman mayors. Chairman, because you get the mayor at the same time, including Ken Clark, Ken around here somewhere, Jill Nethercott, Roy Dykes, Roy's around here somewhere. Yeah. Peter Williams, sadly no longer here, but we remember Peter. Hugh Jones, John Clark, Barry Chapman, and there are lots more, and I've got a list here if anybody really wants to go through it, and a lot of them are on the walls around Belgium. And although I'm the last chairman in Cathy's employment, I do sincerely hope that she will go into retirement with a great deal of satisfaction that she has given a wonderful service and total commitment and dedication, not only to the previous chairman, but to all the councillors. How many councillors has she seen and come through the council during that time? I haven't counted, Barry, but you've got a figure that's coming up.
I had 19 in my head. So.
There we go, there's so many. And I too, Cathy, have received a lot of support and guidance from you, for all the little mishaps and gaffes that I do, even on your retirement. It's great, isn't it? But you do, and you need somebody like Cathy to say, no, this might be, we don't like that, don't do this, do that. And it's great, because when you walk into this job, you think it's dead easy. When somebody else is doing it, when you're standing here like this, you need some help and guidance. Cathy. Anyway, just saying thank you, it's not really, it doesn't sound enough, does it? Thank you. But in a way, I have to say thank you because, Cathy, thank you.
Yeah, we all say
that. We all say that. And over the years, the number of people that will have come up the stairs into the old office, because many of you remember the old office upstairs, and the sort of flocks that come into the downstairs office now, they've received help and advice from Cathy, and I'm sure if they were all here tonight and we couldn't get them all in, I'm sure they'd be saying thank you too, Cathy. I'm sure they'd be saying thank you when they see you out here and they're saying, gosh, What's a Monday night to you now? It's so different. Colin says he's looking forward to becoming a councillor so that he can Monday nights. Anyway, I'll leave you two to sort that one out. Anyway, but it's not just me saying this. Sir George Young's here tonight, and it's also a little bit of an occasion for him. As not only are you here on your retirement, I think Sir George Young's last public event in his career. Sir George, would you like to say a few words, please?
Wow. Well, Mr. Mayor, can I just add a footnote to what you said, paying tribute to Cathy's work? We have a lot in common in that, as you've just said, we are both approaching retirement. I stopped being a Member of Parliament officially on Sunday night. At 1 minute past midnight, I turned into a pumpkin and just revert to being an ordinary member of the public. So this is actually my last civic function, and where better to end my parliamentary career than in Whitchurch at a party to celebrate the work of Cathy. Well, while I pay tribute to Cathy, can I also thank all the councillors who've been active during my time as the local Member of Parliament. For an MP, it really matters to have an effective town council. If you want to have a dialogue with a community, if you've got a town council in some parts of the constituency, a parish council, it makes all the difference. A channel of communication, two ways, explaining what's going on up there and telling them up there what's going on down here. And it does depend on volunteers and on an efficient town clerk. And you are an exemplar, if I may say so, of a town clerk. And 17 years is a long time to have done that job. They're jolly lucky to have had you. While I'm here, I have one conspicuous failure to confess. I remember when I campaigned for my first election in 1997, I said we must get a new car park at Whitchurch station. The good news is that I have succeeded in getting South West Trains to provide more spaces for car parks. The bad news is it's in Andover. But I'm sure that campaign will go on. And I see in this room many people I've had a dialogue with, sometimes from different parties, but I think we've all respected each other. We've all had the same job to do, representing people. And the collaboration and the mood has always been positive rather than adversarial and confrontational. And it's a real privilege to be asked to say a few words. Cathy, many thanks, many congratulations for what you've done. The town owes you a huge debt, and that modest cake is a very small reward. 17 years. So Cathy, well done, and another peck on the cheek.
Thank you, Sir George. It's not only Sir George saying this. I'd like to ask previous Mayor and our current Deputy Chairman, Councillor Barry Jackman. Barry, would you like to say a few words, please?
Thank you, Mike. Yeah. I mean, when Mike asked me to have a few words, I thought, my goodness, where do you start? I've worked alongside Cathy now for 17 years, or a little bit more than that actually. I've just looked up there to see Jewel Nethercott, and I remember I started under Jewel Nethercott rule, so that was 1996, so it's a little bit more than 17 years. Anyway, it's a long time. And in that time, we've gone through some good periods, some not so good periods. During the time and longer, Cathy has presided as our town clerk and played a crucial part through great events and achievements, lots of achievements, and she's been fully partake of those. Whitchurch Health Check, the Whitchurch Design Statement, the Millennium Meadow, securing the extension at the cemetery. And I can remember when we did the Golden Jubilee Memorial up there, asked Sir George along. I did a programme for it, and I put in there, Sir George, a word. And he picked me up on that straight away. He said, surely I've not come to Whitchurch only to have a word. he had a good few words. Anyway, town centre improvements, Cathy, you're very much involved in that, and the Queen Elizabeth View. Cathy has seen many councillors come and go, but she's stuck with the job. She has always acted in the most professional manner, and has for all these years been the public face of the council. Cathy, I know you will be greatly missed by many, and I believe you will find it hard to let go of a job you largely loved. I trust you will now enjoy with your family and friends your retirement for this employment in the council. I'd like to leave you with this poem that you gave me as a help when you were preparing me to take on my first year as mayor. This was, of course, before recordings were used in council meetings. The unknown author of this poem clearly summed up what Cathy and her assistant Pat very often had to do in racking their brains over following council meetings on what we on numerous occasions tried to record in the minutes. And that is what people thought they had said at council meetings. In this poem, the great ones refer to councillors and the secretary refers to our town clerk and assistant clerk. When the great ones depart at last to their dinner, the secretary stays, getting thinner and thinner, racking her brains to record and report what she thinks they will think that they ought to have thought. You carried out the task, Cathy, with flying colours. Well done and happy retirement.
Right, and it's not just Barry saying this. You're going to either go on tonight, you're going to want... No, no, it's not just. Sharon would like to say a few words as well. Sharon, over to you.
It's very brief, but I just want to thank you, Cathy, for being such a kind and welcoming person. It's only nearly 3 years ago that I started here, and I was rather apprehensive as to, well, the job, because I didn't want to let anybody down, but also the kind of person I'd be working with. And really, I couldn't have been luckier, because Cathy was extremely welcoming, encouraging when I was nervous, and we have had an enormous amount of fun over this time. Yeah. We have had times when we were both sort of scrabbling at the walls, but there weren't many, and we bucked each other up, and we laughed about it afterwards. And she was just really such a kind person, as I'm sure you all know. And I will miss you dearly, Cathy. But thank you for the great time we've had together.
How many more do you... No, that's it. No, I'm very grateful. Thank you, George, Barry and Sharon. I'm going to... This is where Barry and I should have got together earlier. I'm going to finish on a short retirement poem. I looked around and I thought, does this sound like Cathy? You know, does it? You know, you have to understand that. Anyway, it goes something like this. May you always have work for your hands to do. She's had plenty of that over the years. May your pockets always hold a coin or two. May the sun shine bright on your window pane. May the rainbow be certain to follow each rain. May the hand of a friend always be near you, and may God fill your heart with gladness to cheer you. Cathy, it's been a really great pleasure working with you, but now it's time to move on. Retirement is just the beginning, not the end, and we have a card for you, which is just down the end of the table here, where we have some gifts for you to open up in just a couple of minutes. But, you know, for me, I'd just like to say, I think it's worth saying, we need 3 cheers for Cathy. Okay, hip hip, hooray! Hip hip, hooray! Hip hip, hooray! Right, at the end of the agenda, it's all over to you, Cathy. Sorry, I'm horrible.
Well, this is a very special, extraordinary full council meeting.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've had nothing to do with
No,
organising.
I know, and I've got most of it right.
I am really looking forward to my retirement, but obviously after 23 years, with some sadness. And I would like to have stayed to see some of the projects that are taking a long time to go through, one particular street light to the end.
Know.
But then that would have always been the case. So, yes, I'm just overwhelmed actually. I had all sorts of things I was going to say, but they've all gone out of my head because it's just lovely seeing you all here. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Cathy. Now, everybody, there's something to eat here and to drink, and you know, please feel free.